So I want to point out something, and I pointed this out before. See this Giordano's? This Giordano's, this was a courthouse and a jail for the county, Cook County. This was a county jail and a county courthouse. And they converted it into residence on the above floor and a pizza place on the lower floor. And I like Giordano's Pizza. And then there's Pure Bar Exercise next door. But again, I like Giordano's Pizza. But I'm saying this was an exit strategy. The county could have kept the building and did the development. It's just like the city of Chicago. Here's the firehouse. This was an old Chicago firehouse, and they converted this one into a restaurant as well. And you can see right here, it says the Chicago Firehouse. They named the restaurant the Firehouse. And my friend Alex and Jane had their rehearsal dinner here. Now there's a Rush hospital next door, and this building right here I was going to move into. There was a unit there I was going to purchase, but not going into that story. I was going to live right on this corner. But they have a nice outside patio. But the whole point is an exit strategy for the firehouses. When they move them, the city doesn't have to sell them off. They can lease the property and develop them. So, and that brings and generates money in. Yeah, selling it off gets a lump sum right up front. But leasing it out and keeping the property and getting the appreciation and controlling the land is more important. So, again, leasing the property out. So, again, I believe that's what they should have done. And I love this area. I really did love living here for a short period. But I used to visit Jen because when she was in town, I stayed with her. She wanted me to stay at her place, not my place. That was her choice. But she liked that she wanted her place. Okay. And so I just defaulted to her place. But down here is Central Station, and it's right off of Museum Park and all that. And so it's a nice area to live. But I'm going to cut the video here. But again, well, on the other side is Soldier Field. And so this is a nice building here. They can even have land. They can build an outdoor pool here. They have a little park. But they have land here that they could actually build an outdoor pool for the complex. So they have a little park here, and they have all this land right here. They can build an outdoor pool. Truly, an outdoor pool for themselves, for the complex. A nice outdoor pool. And it can be enclosed and all season, and you can get through the building to it. And so it's available to the building, and this building has connected to it a bunch of townhouses, which makes this 1515 South Prairie unique, because it has all these townhouses in front of the high-rise building behind, and it's one association, one property, the townhouses and the high-rise. Whereas you go down here, you have tons of townhouses. These are all townhouses, but they're not connected to a high-rise. The builder, who was female, she did the townhouses in front and the high-rise behind. So she blended on one property townhouses and a high-rise. And so 1515 South Prairie is a unique setup, because I'll show you down here that these buildings are just high-rises. They don't have any townhouses. Not in front of them. So truly, they don't have any townhouses associated with them. So these are all townhouses. But let's go on back here. And we have buildings. And so this is Prairie. This is South Prairie. And it goes back here. But this building. Now, maybe I'm wrong. In this other building right here, these are townhouses was part of this development. I don't know. But the mixture of townhouses and high-rise makes it very unique. So in here you have lots of townhouses mixed in with high-rise buildings. And so it does make this area a very unique combination of townhouses and high-rises. And so this is actually a public street, maybe, or a private, but this is Prairie, and it winds on through. Over there, I know by 1515 South Prairie, it's public. I don't know if this is private, but it's South Prairie. And it ends at another high-rise up here. And then I don't know why they haven't developed this into some kind of park right here in front of this building. They just have this big grass, but they've never developed it. They could put bushes and flowers and really develop it and make it beautiful in front of these two buildings. This is a nice grassy area that they can develop and make incredibly beautiful. And these are two beautiful buildings. We were looking at moving. I looked at this location for me and Jen maybe to move to when it was getting built because a view of the park. And so it has a great view of Grant Park, but I don't know why they don't develop that area. And so this building will never be interrupted, and it'll always have this view. So this building and the building next to it has this great view of this park area. And then it's right off of Soldier Field. It's right off of Museum Park with Adler Planetarium and everything. And it's right off the lake. And like I said, at that boating marina and marina over here, all these buildings here can rent boat slips right over here. And they can have boats right over here at the marina, if this video will go long enough. And so all these buildings right here, and they were going to cover up the train tracks here and put a big grass field. And so the buildings on the backside could have a big park in front of it, or truly a big park covering up the tracks and extending out the park right there, and extending green area to all these buildings. All the residents, all the buildings would benefit huge if they covered over the train, and it would become quieter, and they would have this immense green area on the backside, which they don't have on the front side, but on the backside, by covering up the tracks, they would have this immense green area. And then we go in, right here is Museum Park, and you can walk over. There's an underpass, and it goes right under, and you can walk over to the Field Museum, and then they have Soldier Field, but moving it, I think, would be best to expand this area into more museum and everything, and moving this to the Michael Reese would be better, and it'll attach better to McCormick Place and that, because it'd be right next to McCormick Place, the stadium. So it would be better. And then up here, there's a marina. And so you have this ability to create this incredible experience. And I keep on coming down here because I do love this area. There are several areas in the city I love. And I love growing up at Patrick Henry. I love growing up in my neighborhood, but they took away the playground. I had Independence Pool. I could go up to Horner Park. There were many areas that I could go into where I grew up by Elston and Irving. So they had Independence Pool. They had Waveland's Pool, Waveland Park. They had the sledding hills at Waveland. So in the wintertime, I could go sledding. Horner Park, I could play baseball, and then they had McFedrick's Ice Arena up there. I could go ice skating, but in the park, they also In our field house outside, we created an ice ring as well. See, here's the boatyard. So each of these areas have their unique value. It's really what you want. If you want to live by a lot of single-family homes, then where I grew up is all single-family homes. If you like high-rise and condominiums, or high-rise condominiums and townhouses, so high-rise condominiums and townhouses, and you want to be closer to the lake, then it's great. There's Johnny's Ice House in the West Loop they can go to. So they have Johnny's Ice House in the West Loop. They have to travel west. And they have Johnny's Ice House and all that down there. And then you have the stadium if you go into the West Loop where the Bulls play. Not Allstate Arena, but United Airlines Arena. And so the Bulls and Hawks play there. And then you have Wintrust, that's by McCormick Place, and that's where DePaul plays. But again, here's the planetarium. So I don't know. It's a great place to raise a little kid. You can come over here, bring your little kids here on the weekend every so often and take a look at the stars and the constellations. And then you can sit out here. I used to run along here. And there's a memorial on the other side for fallen police officers and firefighters, I think. There's a memorial that you can't see, but around this bend, there's a bend here, and around the path on the path around on the backside, the lake. So you have a river walk. Well, this is a lake walk. No one calls it that, but it is truly a lake walk. And they have a memorial that's dedicated, I think, to firefighters and police. So I used to run by it all the time. So anyways, this is a beautiful view, and this is where the playpen, and they have a break wall and so on. But it has a beautiful view of the city. And this is back on Central Station. So, yeah, the street lights... The camera doesn't work well with the street lights, so maybe I need to upgrade one of these days to a better camera, a better phone with a better camera. I mean, I guess I can get a standalone too, but I haven't done that. So, and I believe in standalone cameras. If you're a professional photographer, standalone cameras are the things to have. So there's the boating, and I'm waiting for all the boats to come in, but they have the blue lights out on there for where all the boats sit in the harbor. And then you have the blue light on the top of this one building, and then there's an orange light on the top of another, and a white light on the top of another, and then pillars with white lights on top of another building. But each of them make themselves look a little bit distinct. And those are all the buildings in Central Station, which is basically by Roosevelt and Michigan Avenue in there, and between Lakeshore Drive and Michigan Avenue. That's where Central Station is. It's south of Michigan Avenue. So, but here's the Shed Aquarium where my ex-roommate Sandy used to be involved in. And we had a big event here for the Chinese Chamber. And that's where I last saw Linda Yu. I took a picture with her. I don't know where it is, but always been a fan of Linda Yu. She's Chinese. And she was with ABC since, I don't know, she was with them for a long time. So I watched her growing up. So, anyways, and then we have the Chicago police officer doing his rounds, making sure that I'm not causing trouble. You know, I'm such a troublemaker. So, anyways, but again, I'm down here, and this is great for this area, and I'm heading back towards Central Station. So, again, yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna cut the video, but here's the living flare for the Special Olympics, the flame.